Tesla just released the details for a more affordable version of the Model Y that you can now order. However, it is missing quite a few features as compared to the premium versions of the vehicle. So stick around as I discuss all of the differences that I could find. I'm John, and this is Cleanerwatt. If you go to the Model Y configurator page on Tesla's website in the United States, you can see that Tesla now offers a new version of the Model Y that, before destination order fee and any other extras, has a base MSRP under $40,000. This is $5,000 cheaper than what Tesla is now calling the premium rear-wheel drive version of the vehicle. However, you do lose quite a few features moving from premium to standard, and Tesla actually gave the vehicle a little bit different style on the exterior and interior of the vehicle as well. You can see that with the standard version, Tesla removed the light bar from the front, and instead of having a separate section where the headlights actually exist down below the light bar, that cutout is completely gone. Tesla did make a change to the actual headlight technology itself, whereas with the performance and premium versions of the Model Y, you actually get auto and adaptive high beams. You only get auto high beams with the base standard version of the Model Y. You can also see that the front lower grille cutout area is quite a bit longer on the standard version of the Model Y as compared to the premium version. And when you look at the front end of these vehicles, the new standard version of the vehicle has a much cleaner front appearance as compared to the premium version. And I do like the light bar design, but overall I actually slightly prefer the standard version design over the premium version. In addition, moving to the rear of the Model Y, you can see that with the standard version of the vehicle, Tesla removed that indirect reflective light bar and replaced it with more standard looking taillights and a connecting plastic trim piece there. And in addition, this is a subtle design change, but it's a design change nonetheless. If you look at the rear glass where it meets the end of the hatchback on the standard version of the Model Y, like the old version of the Model Y, there is a curved design to the glass. However, with the performance and premium versions of the Model Y, that section of the glass has a more squared off edge. Another big change is, for the first time, Tesla is offering an 18-inch wheel choice for the Model Y, but it's only exclusively for the standard version of the vehicle. This allows the Model Y to be more efficient than it would be with 19-inch wheels, and they wanted to maximize the range on this vehicle, and they call these wheels the aperture wheels. So 18-inch aperture wheels that you can get with the standard version of the vehicle. You can upgrade to the 19-inch cross-flow wheels. As it sits right now, you do not have the option to spec the standard version of the Model Y with the 20-inch Helix 2.0 wheels. Another difference you'll notice when you go to the configurated page is there are only 3 color choices for the standard version of the Model Y, whereas there are 6 color choices for the performance and premium versions. While this is more of a feature difference, I also wanted to point out that the side view mirrors on the standard version are now manual folding as compared to the power folding versions that you'd get with the performance or premium versions. Moving to an interior comparison, Tesla did make quite a few changes with the standard version of the vehicle, including a change to the center console, which now has a pass-through design. In addition, instead of having full vegan leather seats, the new standard version has textile seat centers with vegan leather on the sides and top. Tesla also removed the ambient lighting, and more importantly, there are no physical seat adjustment controls on the front seats of this standard version of the Model Y. You can control that through the screen, but you no longer have physical controls. Tesla also moved from a power steering wheel adjustment to a manual steering wheel adjustment for the standard version, and they removed the rear screen. Another interesting change is, while the vehicle does still have a glass roof, on this standard version, Tesla covered it inside with a headliner. In addition, the standard version of the vehicle does not have 360-degree acoustic glass, but on the sides of the vehicle features single-pane glass. The rear seats are also manually folding as compared to the power folding for the other versions. And with the standard version, the door pockets are not lined. Another small change is there is no longer Model Y badging on the lower door seals. And in addition, you can only get the interior of the standard version in black. There is no white option available. Now, something that Tesla actually added to the standard version that is not available on the premium version is when you flip down the center section of that rear seat for the standard version, there is now a 2-cup cup holder built into the back of that seat, whereas that does not exist with the premium version of the vehicle. The standard version also has a much downgraded sound system with 7 speakers and no subwoofer, as compared to the 15 speakers and 1 subwoofer on the other versions of the Model Y. In addition, you lose ventilated seats, and only the front seats of the standard version are heated. However, you still get a heated steering wheel. In addition, very significantly, the standard version of the Model Y does not come with basic autopilot. It only has adaptive cruise control. You can still upgrade to full self-driving, and you can pay for that extra package, but you don't have the lane centering support that is included with basic autopilot that you get as standard with the performance and premium versions of the Model Y. With the standard version, you also lose the advanced HEPA filtration system in bioweapon defense mode, and there's no parcel shelf included. You also have a much more basic suspension system, so the vehicle is most likely not going to ride quite as smoothly as the other versions of the Model Y. Thankfully, the standard version does retain the hands-free power rear liftgate. Okay, beyond some of those design and feature changes, let's talk about the battery pack and range. As far as I can tell, in the USA, all variants of the Model Y feature battery packs with nickel-based battery cells. However, the standard version of the vehicle does have a lower capacity battery pack. Based on a Car and Driver article, the battery capacity of this new standard version is 69.5 kilowatt hours, as compared to somewhere around 79.8 kilowatt hours with the premium rear-wheel drive and premium all-wheel drive versions of the vehicle. However, even with that smaller battery pack, the standard version of the Model Y, when equipped with 18-inch wheels, does still have an EPA rating of 321 miles, which is quite impressive. However, when you compare that to the premium rear-wheel drive version with that larger battery pack, you do get 357 miles of EPA rated range with the 19-inch wheels. When it comes to performance, this standard version is quite slow as compared to the other versions of the vehicle, with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 6.8 seconds. That's pretty slow as compared to the premium rear-wheel drive's 5.4 seconds. The standard version also has a smaller front trunk. Instead of being 4.1 cubic feet, it's around 3.1 cubic feet, and it does not have a weather seal around the tub, and it's missing a lot of the trim that you get with the performance and premium versions of the Model Y, so when you pop the front trunk, it doesn't look quite as finished. When it comes to supercharging the vehicle, because it has a smaller battery pack, the peak supercharging rate is 225 kilowatts instead of 250 kilowatts with the other versions of the Model Y. When it comes to how this actually influences the amount of range that you can add in a 15-minute supercharging session, according to Tesla's estimates, that new standard version in 15 minutes of supercharging can add up to 160 miles as compared to up to 182 miles with the premium rear-wheel drive version of the vehicle. So with all that being said, in my personal opinion, if I was purchasing a Model Y right now, I would actually opt for the premium version of the vehicle and not the standard version. While I do slightly like the exterior appearance better with the standard version of the vehicle, you lose way too many features to justify, in my opinion, a $5,000 price difference. I hope in the future Tesla can drop the price a little further, maybe by putting in a lithium iron phosphate battery pack instead of a nickel-based battery pack, something like that. But right now, I think the premium versions of the vehicle are a better deal because you get quite a few extra features. With the premium rear-wheel drive, premium all-wheel drive, and of course the performance version, you get even more. But nonetheless, I would like to know what you think, so let me know in the comments section below your opinion on this new standard version of the Model Y. I would also like to say thank you to all of those of you who support me through Patreon. Your support makes a big difference and does help make these videos possible. If you'd like to find out more about how you can support my work through Patreon, I will put a link in the video description. Thank you so much.